guys, it's Meg. What's up? What's poppin'? Welcome to the podcast. Every March 17th, our calendars tell us it's St. Patrick's Day. But how did this start? And let me tell you all, I was not expecting half of this. The source we use is history.com, and the article is called History of St. Patrick's Day. And it was originally published October 27th of 2009, but it was actually updated March 4th of 2025 this year. Oh my goodness. I just realized at the top of my page, I wrote that this episode comes out March 17th, 2024. Oopsies, wrong year. But yeah, today when the podcast comes out, it is St. Patrick's Day. But what exactly is St. Patrick's Day? Did you know that St. Patrick's Day is March 17th, which is the anniversary of his death in the 5th century, which I Googled it because we always know I always get confused by the centuries. This was from 401 AD to 500 AD. But what is it with these holidays celebrating dead people? Like Valentine's Day? Valentine's Day is celebrating the death of St. Valentine's. Like, what is with these holidays celebrating dead people, but we don't view it as that? These holidays are so morbid. But this article said that the Irish have observed this day as a religious holiday for over 1,000 years. And this holiday actually falls during the Christian season of Lent. So families would go to the church in the morning and then celebrate in the afternoon. Lent prohibitions against eating meat were waived during this time, so people could dance, drink, and feast on the traditional meal of Irish bacon and cabbage. But who was this man? Who was St. Patrick? St. Patrick is the patron saint of Ireland and its national apostle. Apostle? That word always trips me up because I know one of those letters is silent. But it turns out, crazy, more morbid history, he was born in Roman Britain and he was kidnapped and brought to Ireland as a slave at 16 years old. Now this blows my mind. Patrick escaped, but he then later returned to Ireland and was credited with bringing Christianity there. We're skirting. If I was ever kidnapped, moved to a whole new country, but then I escaped, I would never step a pinky toe back in that country. Why did he go back? That blows my mind. Now, there is a legend of St. Patrick. Let's cue some spooky music. Guys, I think we lost our spooky music. It's okay. We're going to come up with some new spooky music. Let's cue some new spooky music here. The legend of St. Patrick. It is said that he explained the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, by using the 3 leaves of the native Irish clover, the shamrock. Bum, bum, bum. I don't understand the whole big important significance behind that, to be honest. But you may be wondering, when was the first St. Patrick's Day celebrated? It was during the 9th or 10th century. People have been observing a Roman Catholic feast day honoring him on March 17th in Ireland, which is believed his death was March 17th, 493. The first St. Patrick's Day parade was held on March 17th, 1601 in America, specifically St. Augustine, Florida. The parade and the St. Patrick's Day celebration a year earlier was organized by the Spanish colony's Irish vicar, Ricardo Arter. I know it's some type of religious meaning word. But more than a century later, homesick Irish soldiers serving in the English military marched in New York City on March 17, 1762 to honor the patron saint. Then enthusiasm for the St. Patrick's Day parade in New York City, Chicago, and Boston grew from there. And then got into the very dark political and treatment of Irish American people in this article, and I didn't want to bring any more morbid things to this, but if you want to go look it up, you can go look at all that stuff, but I started to skim and pick and choose what I wanted to talk about. So besides parades, Chicago dyes their Chicago River green using green vegetable dye, but there's rumors that back in Florida, they tried to do it first, but they couldn't get it to dye right, so it didn't work as well as the Chicago people. Some popular St. Patty's Day food you could eat today is Irish soda bread, corned beef, cabbage, and champ, which I really want to try that this year, and I'm going to try to convince my family to let me make this. But champ is just mashed potatoes with green onions, butter, and milk. In Ireland, St. Patrick's Day is viewed as a very spiritual and religious day. And here's a fun fact for you. Up until 1961, Irish laws mandated pubs be closed on this day. That blows my mind because I feel like a lot of times people use St. Patrick's Day to get drunk and drink a bunch of beer, but actually they weren't even allowed to drink on this day in pubs. But in 1995, they realized that this could be a way to drive tourism, so they started opening the pubs again. Now you may be wondering, what's the deal with leprechauns? Why are these fun mythological folklore creatures connected to St. Patrick's Day? I can't really tell you that much, but apparently, what I can tell you is the original Irish name for this folklore creature is Luperpan. Already messing up things. But that's okay. We all know this is the Hey Guys, It's Meg podcast. But this word just means small-bodied fellow. The belief of leprechauns most likely comes from the Celtic belief in fairies. And fairies in Celtic belief are tiny men and women who use their magical powers to serve good or evil. In Celtic folklore, leprechauns were cranky souls responsible for mending the shoes of the other fairies. I mean, I'd be cranky too if all I had to do was fix people's shoes. I'd be like, well, stop running around in them. Leprechauns are viewed as minor figures in Celtic folklore, but they're known for their trickery, which they often use to protect their much-fabled treasure. Hey, what's up? It's Editing Meg, and for those who don't know, a leprechaun's treasure is a pot of gold that many say you can find at the end of a rainbow. I was also looking it up, and it said anything shiny or that their treasure is protecting the whole fairy world. And did you know, fun fact, extremely fun fact for me, that leprechauns have their own holiday, and it is on May 13th. Leprechauns are celebrated on my birthday, guys. Why have I gone 25 years of my life not knowing this? Blows my mind. But they're also celebrated on St. Patrick's Day, and it said that a lot of people dress up as fairies on St. Patrick's Day to honor them. According to Google, leprechauns became associated with St. Patrick's Day because they are both from Ireland, and originally leprechauns were actually red, but got changed to green to signify their relation to Ireland. But yeah, isn't that crazy? I did not know most of that stuff about St. Patrick's Day, which is kind of awkward because I am part Irish. But yeah, this holiday is celebrating a dead guy. Just like Valentine's Day, we're celebrating a dead guy. This is crazy. How did he die? We're going to look that up right now. Why didn't I even think to look this up? I love how that's the first question. The first question is, how did St. Patrick die? And the second question is, how did St. Patrick become a saint? Yeah. How did he become a saint? Anotherhistory.com. Oh, apparently he wrote a book called The Confessio. I was curious if you can actually still buy this book, and you can. It is available from multiple websites, but The Confession of St. Patrick is actually on an official website, www.confessio.ie, and you can read the whole entire thing for free. They said he was born around Scotland, most likely. Oh, he apparently went back because he had a dream that he was hearing the voices of Irishmen begging him to come back to their country. Interesting. He was a bishop. He arrived back in Ireland in 433 and began preaching the gospel. Oh, he was only 40 years old? That's so sad. It's after 40 years of living in poverty, teaching, traveling, working tirelessly, Patrick died on March 17th, 461 in Seoul, where he had built his first church. It doesn't say how he died, though. It said he endured much suffering. That's so sad. It's not telling me how he died. Oh, he is buried in the Down Cathedral and is a Church of Ireland. He's buried in their graveyard. That's interesting. Yeah, it's not saying how he died. But yeah, that's the history of St. Patrick's Day. Did you know that? Because I certainly didn't. It's kind of fun. And yeah, another holiday where we're celebrating somebody who died. A little morbid, but the next time that March 17th rolls around, just know St. Patrick's Day has been celebrated for many, 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 many years. It's probably going to continue being celebrated And it's a holiday that may be religious for some, or it might just be an excuse for you to go to the pub and drink. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Hey Guys, It's Meg. You can follow Hey Guys, It's Meg _podcast on Instagram for updates and good times. Come back next Monday at 9 a.m. where we're going to talk about some spring 2025 trends. I'll see you on the flip side. Peace out, Girl Scouts.